Melissa Diner's on her way. Gail Rogers. Therese. So let's just take a minute for Ryan to be able to tell us what to do.
I manage Venice Beach Suites and Hotel in the 1300 block, nightly rental hotel. There's lots of them. We're an independent property that does only nightly rentals. My father-in-law, Andy Lehman, who was former president of the chamber, owns the building and I manage it for him. And between Westminster and Horizon on Ocean Road. Yeah. And I love that speech.
I approve this agenda. Do I have a second? Feels good. Let's see, we got the announcements. We were supposed to have, we don't have anybody here, so we don't have Park and Recs or police or beaches and harbors or anybody from Bonnet's office or from One Dragon Tag or Slipline. So we're 0 for 0. They just have to be invited. Somebody from each one of those organizations needs to be invited every month. Therese, would that be something that you would be interested in participating in?
I will gladly.
Would you?
I'll do both. I'll do all of this.
We got upgraded. Yeah, so I'll email reminding them that the meeting exists.
No makeup on, all sweaty.
We'll send them a copy of the agenda at that point. Yeah.
Yes,
that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of all these departments. Not almost everybody is everybody. Like I called lead officer Duzing for our neighborhood, and her voicemail was literally, "I'm unavailable from Monday, September 9th through Monday, October 6th,
2014."
And that was the one. I just went, okay, you're on vacation. All right.
Yeah.
So.
Because all the park services, all those kind of people work during the summer.
The presence of all these departments has just evaporated since Labor Day. So, but I'll work on trying to get at least some of these people available.
I'll be back by the first Monday.
Just thinking in terms of who is more available on a schedule to come to a community meeting.
Gonzalez is pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, he makes himself pretty available.
Okay, and you know from council with the Bonnet's office, our Venice person is, Cecilia Castillo, you know that?
I know her, but
last month.
My relationship with her is kind of limited to non-return emails.
So it's one-way email exchange, right?
So I don't know to what level.
She'd be the one.
I would hope.
We'll send a the other, interestingly, the other person we can add to this would be the mayor's office, which are our West Side representative. Anybody,
At the last.
Yeah, Garcetti's West Side representative's name. Yes, we do. I mean, he represents the entire West Side of Los Angeles.
I know. When I have
So Therese, when you were, is it Sergeant Gonzalez that goes that represents the media the task force?
Just now, in speaking with the Vice President of the Venice Neighborhood Council and talking about what is what Mark Sulfur was at the Zipline meeting on Friday, which I was unable to make, but there is a certain amount of money that's available as a result of the Zipline, but that won't be made available because the Zipline is now going through October 23rd, so some of those funds will be dribbling in throughout the course of the year. And Mark would like the Oceanfront Walk Committee to weigh in on what we would like to be like to see being done with those funds that are available. And one of the options is to continue to have increased services for bathrooms and trash. But my feeling is that, and I don't know that any studies have really ever been done, but but it's hard to imagine that trash pickup or that trash accumulation isn't double, if not quadruple, during the months of June, July, August, as it is for the remainder of the year, and that bathroom usage isn't double, if not quadruple, for June, July, and August than what it is for the remainder of the year. So, to me, it doesn't make sense to have increased trash pickup and increased bathroom cleaning for the remaining 9 months. At least at this point, I just don't see the point in a bunch of other city workers standing around, during the months when, the tourist population goes way down and the beach usage goes way down. But I did want to put it before this committee to talk about. Carl?
How much money are we talking about?
I don't know.
I mean, in a ballpark, are we talking 10,000, 20,000?
I heard they got like 28,000 so far.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
we
in the
should
tens of
wait
thousands, not the tens of
in on
thousands.
it though
So
until
it's
we know how
30,000
much
roughly.
money, right?
Well, first of
I don't
all,
want to make suggestions on what we're going to do until we know how much.
But I do, and so what we're doing is we're taking ideas, right? This isn't about making suggestions. This is about people, yes, offering up suggestions, but we're not weighing in specifically. If people have ideas, Mark asked me to gather ideas, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay? So Carl, knowing that it's probably in the tens of thousands.
Okay, so now if it's in the 30,000 range plus or minus, one need is for the worn tag and bag. There might be another requirement, come up with about another $7,000 to hook up the electricity, because that whole thing is stalling right now. But we want to give you my report on the worn tag and bag in a minute, or I can give it to you
Okay,
now.
good. So what we'll do on the next agenda is we'll make sure that we have the person's name next to who was really who's going to speak with us in this case. That's Carl. Go ahead, Carl.
Well, the worn tag and bag, we got the trailer in place at the right location over there, but unfortunately, even though the city knew that we needed electricity, first it was, well, we had to get a study to see how much it's going to cost to even get an extension cord to go 100 feet. And then the cost finally comes in and it's $7,000. And
Why is it?
well, because the city got a trailer that comes with air conditioning, and the air conditioning requires 220. So all we need is literally a light bulb and a little power for a computer. Okay, that's all we really need. But the city ordered the trailer.
They know it's at the beach.
What?
They want an air-conditioned trailer at the beach.
I didn't order the trailer. But the city knew that they had to get this trailer and agreed to pay for it. So the trailer's sitting there for the last month and a half. City's paying for it, and we don't have any juice to it.
Look up.
And until we get that, then we can't. I've got a meeting with Mike Bonnet's office next Monday, and we'll see if we can't wait through this. But my sense is that we're getting pushback, I think. And if anybody can put any pressure or call Mike Bonnet's office, I'd call Cecilia. I would call Mark Grant. I'd call Mike himself and say, we really need to get this program going.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it at that. But the more people that would call, the better.
But I'm still lost at where the $7,000 comes in for an extension cord.
Because you think you can put a couple solar
I
panels.
offered to send my own electrician over because I know I could get it done for about $1,000. Licensed contractor, and then the answer came back, no, that it would be a violation of the union contract with the city and the city employees, and it's like more red tape after more red tape. And they knew that we needed electricity in June, because we always said we need a trailer, we need electricity because they have to run the computer, and we have to have a light bulb. And here we are in September, still wrestling with this. But
Okay, so Carl's interested in having any available monies as a result of the zip line that need to go towards warn bag and tag. And anybody else have any suggestions that they want to throw out there in terms of where they would like to see any available monies go towards, other than restroom and trash pickup? Again, these are ideas that you're welcome
I
to.
don't have any ideas, I have a question.
Okay.
Has the Coastal Commission confirmed that the zip line can extend till October 23rd?
Yes, I got a letter.
Yeah.
Did you get a letter?
No, okay.
Some
Under,
of us appellants, people who appeal, there are about a dozen of us, we got letters yesterday from the Coastal Commission where the zip line company is asking to have it stay up till October 31st.
31st?
And then they'll take it down, it'll take a few days. And if you want to appeal it, you have to appeal it in 10 days, but I'm not going to appeal, I mean, that's okay.
what's wrong with them keeping it up even longer? I mean, they've been.
Because it was based on a
90-day.
3-month, 90-day period. It was supposed to be, July 4th, July, August, September.
Because it was a license that was issued as a temporary installation for 90 days, and so it's like
Didn't get up, I think, till July.
anything else.
20th.
Well, pushing them to October 23rd is giving them their 90 days. You know, so
I have two recommendations. One,
okay.
the Muscle Beach Rec and Park building looks like it's just it looks like it's a ghetto deal. It hasn't been remodeled forever. It might be nice to spruce that thing up. We have some money for it.
Okay, and this is
What about the building?
$28,000.
An upgrade to the building?
Yeah. I'm not sure what exactly. I mean, it's two guys sitting there with a chalkboard. Maybe we can do something with it for the visitors.
I think that we would make improvements on the condition that we use it as a tourist resource center as well, and have
Visitor
our
center,
own
that'd
staff
be
inside.
great location.
Where's that?
The Muscle Beach,
1800.
right next to Muscle Beach.
1800 Ocean Park.
Yeah.
That's not where you take them, that's the parking. Those other ones.
So-
Did you had one more?
If
I was thinking nice. Never mind. I'm not going to go anywhere with the next one. Yeah, I like that.
You know, I think that that we need more resources down here for cleanup of the services for, restrooms and trash pickup, no question about it. But unfortunately, in the event that we take some of our budget from, or some of those additional funds from the zip line and allocate it there, all they'll do is they'll reduce their budget accordingly next year. And so we're at square one again. I mean, they play those accounting games all the time with us.
Right, but that's our job. The zipline committee job is to hold them to task for that. So that's why we have the ability to actually do accounting and to do auditing of that. And so we're going to do our best to see that the budget is actually increased. But it all comes down at the end of the
You mean
day
the Rex and Park budget?
yes, but
They don't give you those numbers. They won't.
Okay, well, this isn't the discussion that we're having right now. Is whether or not we're able to hold Rec and Parks accountable. What was asked of me is to have additional ideas from this committee as to where they would want to see additional funds if they were available. So that's what we're holding the discussion to now at this point.
So I have two suggestions, and we talked about it, Melissa. We have a great resource with the historic buildings that are right on Dudley that are never promoted. If we could get, that whole Dudley Avenue area is like historic buildings. It's part of the culture of Venice. There's other ones throughout the community. You know, if we want tourists to come and have another thing that they can do, can we have plaques made, connect with the Historic Society, do something that's going to like put identifiers on the buildings is one. To me, it's how do we create more events, and the other is, can we use some of that money to create an event like a concert, like we talked about, that is going to add more money that we can charge for admission, that then goes back into Venice.
That's a good idea. Reinvesting in our stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a little scary just throwing it towards toilets like
Right. How do we reinvest?
So this, everybody just gonna after so we should get something for it.
Anybody else?
Can I say something?
Yes.
I just think that maybe we should put this on the agenda for next month to vote on for a list of the things in order of importance. Because I agree with Carl that I don't want us to say we're going to put money towards bathrooms. I think that's part of a longer term plan. Whatever we put the money towards now, we should be able to show what we did so then we can keep being the reference as to where that money should go in the future.
Okay. So my issue that I would like to see additional money spent on beyond restrooms and trash would be number one, recycling, but that doesn't come from Rec and Parks. That is from actually from
Department of Sanitation or something?
Department of Sanitation. I believe it is who does the recycling, and I really want to build a task force to really go after those guys and find out why it's so difficult to have recycling pickup on the boardwalk, and it's always so filthy. Separate issue. The issue for the Rec and Parks budget that I think is number one, which I know will resonate with Gail, is that the issue is we've got a really big wide boardwalk for walking, and then we have a very narrow little strip for cycling. So 10 years ago that was suitable because we only had a handful of bicycles on Oceanfront Walk. Now people, like myself, actually use the boardwalk, the bike path to commute from point A to point B. From Rose to Washington to Santa Monica. I actually conduct business by bicycling down the boardwalk, and I'm not the only one. And now we have quad bikes, and we have all kinds of segways, and on and on and on. And we're still relegated to this beach, which I rode on today, which at one point bottlenecked down to a path about this wide because of the sand. So if we're going to make this bike path really a way for people to get from point A to point B in Venice, that bike path needs to be functional all times of day and all days of the year. And sometimes it's pitch black because all the lights are facing the boardwalk. They're not on the bike path. And other times you have hills of sand which become very, very dangerous. So my proposal would be to conduct a study that would A, widen the bike path, and B, create a berm on the beach side of the bike path, and I'd like to see it done out of natural grasses that prevented grass from blowing onto the bike path, so that that bike path could be a real bike path that people could commute from point A to point B. Yeah, there you go. So that's
I never say no bikes. I just say walk your bike.
Yeah.
Just
it defeats the purpose.
Just get off and it's just for during the day when there's a lot of people.
Yeah. But if there's a bike path that's usable, I think that'll help mitigate bikes on the boardwalk. I mean, there's people I see tourists all the time that they don't even are not sure the bike path exists. They just So we're going to work on getting LAPD on those guys and put them in jail. Okay, so we'll save the other announcements for next month. We'll try to get Matt. We'll try to get a full bevy of staff of representatives.
I think it'd be nice to get their input on all of this stuff too. And I'm still not clear if the bicycle path is beaches and harbors or rec department?
I think it would be the county.
It's not rec.
The county.
Then it doesn't even belong to the zip line thing.
You're right.
Takes care of
You're
the bike
right.
path.
That's what I,
The
that's
county takes care of the bike
You're
path.
right. When you're right, you're right.
So they should, even at beach, they should do that.
What's a county deal?
How, can I ask a
Oh.
question?
They take care of the parking lots and the
Yeah.
bike path.
You know, there are issues on the beach like the bike path, like the bathrooms, the upkeep, the washing of the boardwalk. How do we as the Oceanfront Walk Committee put some pressure on these places like beaches and harbor and parks and recs to pay what they're supposed to be taken care of?
Well,
I just feel like, why do we have to take that money to do what they're supposed to be doing?
Because they're saying they're out of money, and so if you want the bathrooms cleaned, they have a budget to clean the bathrooms once a day and to pick up trash once a day. Well, we all know that during the summer the trash is overflowing by 12 noon. It's done, and they're saying, oh, you want to pick up the trash 4 times a day, which is what's needed to not have the trash spilling over onto the boardwalk. We need more money, so that's why the zip line was created for that. So. The difficulty was that we didn't really start the zip line until July 23rd, and so the funds for that didn't really start flowing in until now. But now we don't need additional trash pickup and additional toilet cleaning because the summer's over. So it was sort of lagging behind. But the problem is we can't just really sort of put that money under the mattress for next year because it might get spent, So that's why we need to figure out how we want to spend that money for the remaining 9 months, okay? And then what we do is by next spring we start planning for 4 time a day trash pickup, 4 time a day toilet cleaning for next summer. But we get a head start on it because if we go with the zip lines again, we're ready to start receiving that, having them in place in early June and start receiving that money at that time. There's a time lag
Who's authorized to spend the money? Let's say for hey, we want to put it towards the Russell Beach building. Who actually gets to make the decision to say that's what it does?
That's what we did in the zip line in the zip line meeting, right? And so you had somebody from Bonin's office. We had me from the Oceanfront Walk Committee.
There's a membership, a committee, and the committee got to decide.
Just because the zip line is the entity that I'm on the zip line committee, and that's the entity that's generating the money.
And you're on that committee.
And that's why I'm being asked, having the Oceanfront Walk Committee, saying, what do you guys? How do you guys want to see that money spent? But you're absolutely right. It can't be the bike path.
In my opposition to the zip line, I always said I felt like if the Department of Rec and Parks had its fiscal house in order, we wouldn't have had to do all that. And they have, believe me, they have money to clean the bathrooms. But this is just, they want money.
Well, clearly, his example of not having electricity and $7,000 is a good example of fiscal irresponsibility.
$2,000 toilet
Red tape.
I don't know.
But this is
There's
unique.
one comment.
The funds that this zipline committee might actually be able to utilize is a unique opportunity where, trust me, I've written and called and met with people till I was blue in the face, specifically with recreation and parks. Worked all the way up to the all the way up to the superintendent. And do any of you know Annette Robinson?
Yeah.
Okay. Annette, literally in room with recreation and parks officials, had her checkbook out. She volunteered to pay $500 to repair the pressure washer that could be brought out to Oceanfront Walk. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Just like your example, I'll bring my electrician out, we'll do it today. It's like, no, you can't do that. So they play the game of not having money. Well, we finally have a little bit of leverage in some way of this zipline entity, love it or hate it, has generated revenue that
Right.
might be able to take the place of some phony baloney recreation and parks budget where they don't pressure wash oceanfront water.
Right.
So if we have funds available, if there are funds that might actually be used to special projects, that's a great example.
Well, thank you. That's a nice segue into our next section, which is the Oceanfront Walk Town Hall. So that is Matt Klein's Visitor Impact Committee is hosting a town hall, and the subject is going to be Oceanfront Walk. So the topics of this committee will be front and center. It's going to be within the next 60 days. Do we have a date?
He hasn't given a date yet.
Okay.
End of October.
Visitors impact law doesn't exist.
It hasn't had a meeting yet. It's been adversely impacted.
So, well, they did the Silicon Beach Committee town hall, so they got something done. Regardless, this is and that was widely attended, and now we have Google and pretty much every tech company around in Venice. Every Yahoo in town is here. Again, this is for discussion and possible vote. What is the possible vote portion of it?
I think the possible vote is they want to do a town hall on Oceanfront Walk and safety because of the incident that just happened on the boardwalk.
Right.
So, in what capacity does the Oceanfront Walk Committee want to support a town hall on that topic? And that's it.
Okay.
If we have ideas, they're pretty much set on doing it on safety. From the meeting Tom and I went to, personally, I would rather just be there have presence as the Oceanfront Walk Committee at that meeting with all the resources and things that we're doing, and to promote people to come to our meetings. Have, just like they had at Silicon Beach, booths. I think we should have an Oceanfront Walk Committee area with members from Oceanfront Committee talking about what we've been doing as a committee, and then in terms of what they're going to do for safety, let them take the reins on that, because they have the idea to invite all the different people we just talked about in our announcements, have them be there, have presence. If other people want to get involved to help put that together, I think that's great, but this is something that the Public Safety Committee has taken the reins on.
Right.
This is what they want to do. Even though Tom and I talked about, we would, as we had talked about before, want to do something more than just having the focus on safety. This is what they're moving forward for end of October.
We request that they expand their horizons a little bit.
We absolutely can, and if we want to vote on that,
if we're
I think
gonna
we
vote,
could
that would be the
collectively
thing we
vote on
should vote
doing
on.
it. Absolutely.
We can vote on that right now,
Teresa,
and
I was
after
going to chime in and say the same thing.
we discuss it.
I make a motion that we request that we have say in what happens at the agenda, and we have input on choosing the agenda for the town hall meeting, which we want to broaden from just public safety to also sanitation, visitor impact, and just broaden it, a little bit. And what we also want to do is create an agenda for that we can really hold the different agencies to task instead of them pointing at the other agencies. So I'm getting a little bit too detailed, but that's my motion.
Not at all. It's the discussion that we had when we were talking about what would be the parameters of the Oceanfront Walk town hall is how do you how do you define it? What is the set? And what we talked about, what my idea was is that we talk about Oceanfront Walk as a park.